Hey guys, this is Miguel with Nazgul Renegade. I'm gonna be installing today my new roof rack for the Jeep Wrangler JL 2-door. And the rack that I ended up buying is I bought it from two different places, just so you can give you a little bit of a background. So it is a Rhino-Rack, and it is the 52110F. So it's 52110F. I'll show you a little bit the box. And I bought the rack by itself from Rhino-Rack because they had it on clearance, so I got it, pretty good price. And then I reached out to the guys from Maximus to see if I could buy just the brackets to mount a rack on top of my Jeep, and I confirmed that it was the same rack, and they said yeah, we can do it. So I bought just the brackets over the Memorial Day sale weekend, or the weekend sale, and they sold it to me, so I bought everything cheaper than what would have been if I bought the full set from them. Okay, so let me show you a little bit of what I have. This is the rack by itself from Rhino-Rack, and like I said, it's the 52110F. And then so Maximus 3, that's the company that I bought it from. So like I said, I bought the full bracket set to mount the rack on top of the Jeep JL 2-door, and that's what I'm going to be working on. So I will first start working on the rack. Once I get the full rack assembled, then I will be working on start mounting it. So I'll probably do that another day because it's kind of late today, and I probably won't have enough time to do the whole set. So I also bought the strap set from Rhino-Rack, so these will fit onto the rack, and I can secure things better. So I bought all the set over Memorial Day weekend, and that's where it's going, on top of the Jeep. So let's get to it. This box contains all the bolts and all the pieces to put the rack together. They also include a tool to mount, so in case you don't have one, you don't need, they will give it to you, but everything is included here, so that's really nice. The whole package came packed really well. Because I am running 3 pieces across from the panels on the side, I mean, I guess from the 2 parts on the exterior, they're saying that you need 3 of these and 2 on this side. Okay, so a total of 5 here, same for here. And actually no, I'm wrong, it's 6 pieces. So you can see, if you're running 3 bars, see that logo, it's basically that one right there. So I have 3 pieces, so for 3 pieces I need 3 on each side. So I'm gonna add another one here. That makes more sense now. Okay, and they also said that you have to make sure that you slide it on the top rail, because you can, if you look at it, you can also fit under it, like you can fit at the bottom part, and so you have to slide on the top hole opening. Okay, next thing, number 2, it's to add the end caps. So A, B and C, A, C and C. Okay, so A and C. Okay, so those are the end caps, and you can see the difference. So the one that seems to be, this is A and C, and this is the one that is gonna snap, I guess, on top of it. So we need the ones that have all the bolts under it, just like the picture shows. So you see these clips right here, these 2, these are gonna go like this. And then we'll put the other side the same way over there. And then we'll do the same for that. Next thing is to get one of the bolts, and they're gonna go. I already got this one done. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, it's right there on the hole. So these bolts are gonna secure all 4 end caps on each plate or each part. All right, the next part is to get these guys. The one that has the Rhino-Rack logo on it. So we're gonna get these two because those go on the side. So I'm gonna turn this guy this. Okay, so the next part is to insert or slide this onto the bracket or the end bracket like this. Do the same on the other side. But I'm gonna have to turn around because I cannot mount it, so I cannot bolt it. Okay, so goes like this. Okay. Now you can see how the both parts fit with the end caps, and the next step is gonna put the bolts they're gonna mount all together. So we are gonna be using these bolts. They are a little long and they have like a little round end on them, and they looks like we're gonna need 3 per corner, and they seem to fit in the circles. All right, 1. So I'm using the extension on my drill just to make it easier for me. Okay, so let me show you. You can see one screw goes on the corner right here, and then the other 2, you can see them. So you're gonna need to install 3 on each end cap. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll get to the next step to complete or to cover the end. So you put the last cap, and you're gonna be doing all and every single one. I already did this one. So you're gonna be using these tiny bolts that they give you. Put them in there, and then so because we have 3 pieces of the ones that the smaller pieces that go across, we're gonna be using 10 L-shaped slides, and we're gonna use them on these guys. So it looks like we gotta slide them on one side. So so it's not the center piece, it's this one. Okay, so. And again, well, this one doesn't have, okay. Yeah, make sure you slide on the top part, not at the bottom. You'll see what I'm saying when you start working on it. You'll see that there is 2 channels that you can slide this to. So we got 5 on one side, another 5 on the other side. Okay, let me bring this guy here. Yeah, so you slide 5 little L-shaped bolts on each channel, because like I said, I'm using three of these brackets, so they say 10, so 5 in each side. Okay, the instructions are a little bit confusing, but not too bad. So we're gonna do all those pieces the same thing. So once I just slide the 5 L bolts in the channel, then you're gonna put it, you can see the frame is on top of it, and I'm assuming this because we're gonna probably slide that one under it. Yeah, so we do 5, and then we're gonna do the rest of them and just align it with the holes for now. Alright, so next thing, guys, is we're gonna be sliding one of the bolts, align it with this hole on each side, just like I did here, and we're gonna put or use this bolt nuts right on it, so you can see when you push it down, you can see the bolt. And we're gonna do that on every single hole. So what's gonna happen is, out of the 5 that we installed, 3 are gonna be left in the middle, which are gonna align with the 3 that we had installed previously. And those 3 are gonna allow us to mount those guys. So I'm gonna mount these nuts on every single one. I'm gonna do one, and then I'll finish the rest. They give you the tool to do it, so you know, you just put the nut in there and then put it right here, and you'll be good to go. Okay, so I have every single nut inserted and tightened up all the way. So same for all across from these bars. So now I have to align these 3 L bolts, whatever they call it, at a specific measurement, so they align. So in this case, they're showing me here 20. So as you can see, there is a measuring system here where you're gonna place those at, I guess, at the measurement that they require you, and then we're gonna bring those brackets from there, laying on top, and basically repeat the same thing with every single bolt across, all the way across. We're gonna put those nuts, and that will be basically the end of this rack installation, or putting together, I guess. So yeah, you can see the measure the size, and then you can see right here on the drawing how many nuts and bolts we're gonna have to mount. Okay, so I'm gonna do that, and I will show you later exactly where I place them. So right on this measuring system, there is a center point right at 0. I don't know if you can see it. but that's 0. So I put all the bolts inside of the rail. Okay, so I'm doing one corner first, one side, and then I'll do this one to make sure that it's aligned. It's actually really smart what they did with leaving the measuring system there, so you can center your lines or your brackets properly. Hey guys, so I basically ran into a wall with this installation because I started thinking, oop, I cannot place those rails. Sorry, I cannot place those rails where the Rhino-Rack instructions are telling me to do it, because guess what, the brackets don't align with those rails. So I started, trying to understand the instructions from Maximus, and they're saying follow this point to start and then measure so many millimeters to the other side so you can place the second rail, because you're gonna be only using 2 rails instead of using the 3 for mounting the bracket on top of the Jeep. So the instructions don't make sense. They're not clear. So I call a buddy of mine, Tony, who from Always Different, and he gave me pretty much confirmed what I was thinking. But yeah, it makes sense that putting the brackets first on the Jeep, drilling through the Jeep, and then mounting the bracket and the rack on top of it after that will be probably the most accurate way to get those measurements on spot. So I'm gonna stop right now, and I'll get back to it Saturday. Hey, good morning guys. This is round number 2 with the Jeep rack. I'm mounting the brackets first onto the Jeep, so let me show you where. So some of the brackets go somewhere up here. We're gonna have to remove some of the speakers, I think, on both sides, and then the other 2 go right here. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to mount both brackets so I can keep the shelf on. So my thinking is that I'm gonna use the roof rack bracket against the roll bar first and see if I can slide this one on the side. And worst case scenario, I might have to get a longer bolt to make it through to both, but this might be okay for now. I don't know, I'll test it. So that's what I'm gonna be working on. I'm gonna be removing the freedom panels, the 2 front panels first, and then I'm gonna start working with the brackets. So I'm gonna show you where I had the difficulty. So right here in these instructions says that after you completed step number 1 through 5 from the assemble of the Pioneer platform using the Rhino-Rack instructions, which I have here, I've finished that. Then they tell you where to start drilling so you can place those 2 rails. You're not gonna be using 3, only 2, because of the brackets only have 2 in each side to mount. So the third one can be placed really anywhere in between, so that wouldn't matter. So I'm gonna try to center it, but they tell you that you have to make a new hole right here at the mark of 160 millimeters, 760 millimeters from R2, but there is no R2 measurement anywhere in the instructions. Okay, so I'm like, okay, so where am I gonna do that? So obviously mounting the brackets first, we'll know exactly where the hole is gonna be, because we can drill straight through for these 2. The other ones, according to Tony, those will be harder. Once we remove the speakers up there, the cover, then you'll figure out where the brackets are gonna mount. See, they're telling you gotta remove the speaker plastic trim on the roll bar, and then that's where the brackets are gonna mount somewhere. And then they tell you exactly where to drill on the top. But again, it's not gonna be as easy as, because I don't have the 760 measurement. On here it's easy because I can see it, and it looks like this part is gonna be also hard to get to. It looks like a marker, little pencil that you have to mark, because this is the top and then this is the roll bar, and that's where it's gonna go. So I'll be showing you as I go what I'm dealing with. Okay. All right, guys, so these are all the brackets that we're gonna need to mount the rack on top of the Jeep. These are the ones that go on the exterior, outside, on top. These two go right there, one on each side, and these guys go right here. Okay, so these are very very thick. You can see how thick they are. They look like about almost a, what is that, 1/8 to an inch. They're very thick. Okay, and they're nicely powder coated, so they're quality. They're good quality. And they also give you a relocation for your satellite antenna. They give instructions on how to mount it there. So but yeah, it seems like that we have everything we need. The bolts that go on the roll bars, but I think mine are black, look better, and I think they're a little longer, so I might be using the other black ones. They look more sturdy, and those are longer, big ones. And then these guys are the ones that go, I think, on this, and then the rest of the little washers, rubber washers and lock nuts and the bolts. So, and this too, I guess, and the other side, I guess, on the roll bar, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, they look in good quality, guys. So if you're curious about that, they're solid, so they feel good. So I think you should be able to hold that the capacity weight that they have mentioned on their website. I think it's about 800 pounds or something like that. I'll put the link for that for you guys to buy it from. So all right, so I'm gonna get started on the brackets. I'll probably start on that one, which looks the most difficult one. I'm gonna get the speaker covers out, and then move to the next part. See, I think they might be mounted by something behind this part right here. So because I'm able to move the plastic that I just removed, all these bolts right here, 1 2 3 4 5. So I'm gonna take that just to see what it looks like. All right, come on. Okay, gonna remove. It's got a little clip here, so you can see it. So we're gonna remove that one. And then plugged it. Oh, well, I don't think you need to remove it, to be honest. I think it just comes down. It has those little plastic clips. So let me I just hate breaking those plastic things. All right, so yeah, you can see those. Okay, yeah. See, the only thing holding it right now is those two clips, so I'm gonna remove those two so I can take the whole piece out and have plenty of room to work on it. You know, in my case, I'm probably gonna have to deal with something different than most of you guys if you do not have your the shelf installed already, because I have to loosen up the bolt so I can push this one up so I can have enough room to install the brackets, because I gotta remove this guy here. Yeah, because I'm going to have to remove, you know, the bolt here, and also the bolt that goes on that corner. Yeah, all right, so yeah, I'm gonna have to remove those. Hopefully I don't have to do much, so I might just have to loosen up so I have plenty of play so I can lift this guy up. This installation is a little bit more tedious than I thought it was gonna be. So I have done a couple more things in order to make the first bracket fit in. So once you figure out which bracket goes in each side, I broke the full piece apart. So there's three pieces that basically let me see, where is it? Yeah. All right, so that piece right there is three pieces, and you can see the bolts are holding it together. Okay, so basically what I did is I removed all the bolts, and then I started mounting one by one. So I took the very first one. In order for me to fit this one fits in there pretty tight. Okay, so there is a hole already done. Let me show you. This is this part without the bracket, and you can see there is a pre-drill hole there ready for the bolt. They give you 2 bolts, and they will fit one on each side. So what I did is I used this piece, just the one that goes on this side. You can tell by how the shape it is, you know, the bolt, this section right here has a hole, I mean, and then this one also has a hole here. So this is the top hole, and then the bottom I had to remove the screws that go under this plastic frame. Okay, so let me explain something to you. I already have the second bracket on it. I haven't tightened it up, but you can see it's in there. It's got the 2 bolts right here, but it's in there. One thing about this bracket, so this one goes down and then kind of like goes around under the roll bar in between here, the plastic. Okay, so this part has a hole in it, and you can barely see it. I think maybe there, I can barely see from here, guys, but it does not reach the hole where this screw will go in. Okay, so this one just sits there. So because I was trying to figure out why, if you know, I have a little bit of a gap here. I don't know if you can see it right here, you know, I still have room to move it, push it in, but it won't go in more. For some reason it's tight. But even if I push that one all the way against the roll bar, it will not reach that hole. It's pretty far away. Okay, so you know, see, this is the hole where the bracket is, and this is where the hole where I'm assuming they wanted to match. I don't know, I have no idea what they were trying to do there. It's just not long enough, and it's not even centered. So I'm just gonna leave that one wrapped around it like it is, tighten up this bolt, and then it feels solid right now. This one is tight, it's solid, it's not moving. This one is moving because it's not tight, but this part is solid. So I am gonna continue putting the last bracket that mounts right here, and then kind of like folds out like this, and it's where the top is gonna sit on. Okay, this in, you can see it's solid. So we have this bolt holding the first bracket down to the roll bar. Second bracket is the one that loops around here, and it has 2 bolts right here. And then the third one mounts on the outside of this, or inside, I guess, and it's the one where the top is gonna sit on, and also where the bolts are gonna mount from the, you know, from the top. So yeah, so we got that one first. I'm gonna do the second one just the same way, get it done. I have the 2 brackets installed. They feel solid. Okay, the quality is good. The quality is good. I just wish the instructions were a little bit more clear, easier to understand. But basically that's it with this part. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lower the top on it, remove this piece of wood, and look at how it sits on it, and then I'll move to the brackets on the back. Okay, I think my issue is that I put the, make sure that you right now it's not sitting all the way down, and I think it's because you can see how it's rubbing on it. So I'm gonna swap the long bolts and put them right here, and the short ones here, and see how it sits, because right now it's not closing all the way down. So I'm gonna try that. All right, so I'm done. I'm gonna bring that top down and see what it looks like now. It's pretty good. I was concerned I was gonna have a large gap in between, but look, you don't put a lot of pressure, so it will seal. It doesn't sit completely because of obviously sitting on that bracket, but once you put the bolts down there on this one, this thing was not going anywhere. Especially once you put the bolts, they will go through, you know, down into the bracket. So all right, I'm gonna move to the rear brackets, and then we'll start drilling the holes. This one, never mind. So this lip goes on the outside like this, and it mounts right on the bolt, and it's gonna go somewhere there. Okay, so I got lucky because those two brackets are gonna work together. They're gonna fit as long as I use a longer bolt, and they provided this. This is the one I had mounted for the shelf, so you can see it's larger, so that should work. So I'm gonna mount those together, and then I'll get back to you. All right. Like I say, guys, I got really lucky. I think I managed to make it work. So this is the bracket that's gonna hold the roof up there, the rack, and then this is my shelf. So I just gotta go bolt this one back together, but both brackets fit in there fine, and they're tight. Other than this one not being tight at the top, you know, but it worked out pretty good. We have finished. The brackets are mounted onto the Jeep, so now we need to drill the holes for the brackets that are gonna go for these guys. They're gonna go on top of the Jeep, and this is where the rack is gonna be mounted to. These are the two bolts or two holes where the two bolts are gonna mount on those two holes right here. So this is easy to mark. We can just mark and then drill up with a little bit and then drill back down, I guess, or we can just a one bit going up. Both sides are easy. On the other hand, that's gonna be tighter. You can see how much space I have here. Tony told me to get like a small pencil or something that I can slide in and kind of like mark my holes. I'm gonna have to take and measure 20 times before I drill, just to make sure I get it right. Same for the other side. You can see it's really tight. Tighten up those two brackets at the very end. So what I did is I kind of measured and put them at the same distance from the end of the top all the way against the top, and then I secured those bolts. It's pretty much the same distance that I have on both, so I think it'll be fine. That way your bars where the brackets are gonna mount on top of the top aligned, and you can make it pretty straight. Okay, so you just double check that, okay, because they're not perfect, but you can make it work pretty close to where you need them. Okay, do this so I can mark my holes over there. I have the shelf on my way, so it's kind of hard. So okay, so one. I don't know if I can get to the other one. Looks like it. One is tight. I'm gonna have to get the camera out of the way so I can mark the other one. I can't get my hand from the front. That's the problem. The back one is not as bad, but the front one is definitely. So I'm gonna try to mark that one, and see if I can, you know, make a round hole where I can kind of center it, just like this one. These are pretty easy. Actually have a pretty good circle. You can see them. So it's tight, but you can make it work. So now look on both sides, not too bad. So I'm just gonna center those holes, and I'm gonna try those first, and then I'll do the second ones. That looks pretty good. See if I can get more room here. It's the technique I use to make sure I drill the holes up. So I used my impact driver with a tiny bit, and then I used this guy, a little tiny screw, just long enough and thin enough to make it through, and I was able to make the hole so you can see it right there. Okay, so that's just to mark the hole. Now I'm gonna go get the big bit and get that one done. I'm just gonna cut any abscess or anything sticking out so it doesn't keep peeling behind or out. And now I'm planning on sealing. I'm planning on putting a sealer here because they do provide you with rubber washers. So this is supposed to go something like this. I'm just gonna test to see if those align. Guys, so this don't seem to be super aligned, but once you put this guy, which is it's gonna be the one that's gonna be mounting on it, it sits right on it. So it's not perfect, but it's definitely gonna work. All right guys, so I have pre-drilled from the inside of the Jeep with the smaller bit where the bracket sits. I already have the other one installed, so I'm gonna drill back down through those using the larger size bit. I'm using a 5/16 bit. Can you see, if you see the bit going through it, you should be able to see it. You can see it went through right? Okay, so I'm just going slow. All right, that'll be fine, baby. It'll be fine. Okay, so I lost one of my little washers, so I'm just gonna use a big one, but it should work fine. It seals around the bolt, okay, which is the important thing. It's just gonna stick out a little bit on the bracket, but I don't care, you barely see it. So I have the bracket ready, bolts, and the washer. So again, I'm gonna seal it just to keep some water out. And this is, you know, liquid tape, and like I mentioned earlier, I used this on the Renegade when I drilled through the roof, and I never had any issues with water leaking for like about 5-6 years. I never replaced it, so it does feel good. Okay, all right, so here my wife is gonna hold this for me. I'm gonna go under it and I'm gonna put the nuts and get this one tightened real tight. Right, I think I left the you have the wrench, or it might be up there. Okay, let me clean that seal. You can see it.
Tell me which one you're starting with.
I'm gonna start with the one on your right. So bolt, I mean a nut, and I'm putting both nuts first before I start getting anything tight. Okay, I'm gonna start with like I said, closer to you, to your right. Now get it as tight as I can because I'll twist your hand. Is it tight? You hold it more? That's pretty tight. That's good, baby. Next.
Calm down.
Ready?
Okay, go.
In this one I'm using a 1/2 inch socket, and my wife is using an Allen wrench up there just to hold it so it doesn't rotate on me. Alright, that's it, babe. So a moment of truth. Yeah, I'll be okay. Aesthetics like that, nobody's gonna see them. And you can see it's right on it. So all we gotta do is just bring that big rack on top of the Jeep, and just put I gotta line first where these are gonna go in the rack. Hold on. Yes, so I gotta line this and this one. Once I get those center in the rack tightened, then I'll put this one in the middle, in between, in the rack, just tight, because it's not gonna mount anything, and then it's just gonna sit there for support, and we should be good to go. Try to align me if we can on those rails.
What can I step on?
On the step. Okay. I think I get it. Okay, cool. It's just gonna glide on the rails. Just guide it to you.
Alright.
Yeah. All right. So you can see, guys, all the room that you have, so you can take your freedom panels off, and so all I have to do is just put the secure it, put the slides and hold it. Let's see. So what I did is, from the edge here to the center of the rail, or the first bracket, I think I did 9.5, I think, and then from there 30 inches to this one, and this one I just left it there kind of in the center. It's not perfectly centered, but it'll be fine because it's just an extra support, but I'm not planning on putting a lot of weight there. I think this rack is weighted about 800 pounds in static, and about 300 somewhere there. I'll put in the description when you're driving, you know. So it's great. It's a great rack. So I think it'll do fine. I think it's gonna be great for camping. And if you got any questions, well, I'm not done yet, so I'm gonna secure it. I'm gonna finish up putting the brackets mounted completely onto the Jeep top, and then I'm gonna test drive it. I forgot to put those those little brackets onto the rack, so I can just slide it one way, and then I'll have the room to slide those one to each side, you know, and two on each side, and then just bring it all the way to the end where the bracket's gonna sit. So let's get that one done. So I think they go like this. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, see, we'll leave one there. Right here somewhere, and then I'll slide the other two and push them all the way to the end of the rack. The basket, or the rack, you can get to it with a 15mm wrench, and I'll use a socket wrench, ratchet wrench, make it easier for you, because you won't be able to slide a ratchet there. So just get yourself a socket wrench, and you get 1, 2, and then the 2 in the back. Last bolt, sir. We got the last bracket tight. we got all tightened up. For those that are interested on it, I recommend it. It's actually not it's not too bad if you get help just to hold things and get the bolts tightened up, but you can see it's pretty good. I gotta put all the plastic and everything back together, but the installation is done. So just so you know, it because of all the recording, the time to move the camera here and try to first figure things out before I can shoot it, I would say it takes about 4 or 5 hours. But those two brackets up there, those are the ones that are gonna take the longest. You saw how I marked them. Once you mark them, you can lift it up and drill it like the way I did it. It's pretty easy. Well guys, if you like the video, if you have any comments, any suggestions, or something that you you know, maybe I can help you guys with, leave me a comment. Just leave it right below the video and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, that'll help the channel. I'll keep putting more modifications for my Jeep. If you are interested, just keep an eye on my channel. I'll see you later. Thank you. Bye.